It's meeting 13 of Footballland.
Football, 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 football. Land.
My name is Anthony Richardson. I am the CEO of Footballland.
My name is Mark Davison, and I'm the Lord Ride Chief Boss Engineer.
And I am Ryan Baxter, and I do everything else.
And we've been given $1 billion accidentally by the state of Qatar for a football-themed theme park in Qatar for the World Cup in Qatar. And it's called Footballland, and there's no gap between football and land. If there is, it's a tiny, imperceptible, wee font
Big,
space
perceptible
size
gap.
1 gap. And here's a list of the rides we've come up with so far. The Leicester City Fairyland, the Tunnel of Wagner/Donald/Joachim Love, Jimmy Conrad's Conrad Biscan 3000, Steve Mechanical Bull, Marek Larwood's Football Hunger Games, Sir Alex Ferguson's Mind Game Simulator, Nimo Dudra's Betrayal Monorail, Ascophiation Noshboard, Steve Cabaret,
The School Sports Football Simulator.
Ultimates, meat and potatoes miniature fun fair.
Hasta la vista, baby. The Eric Cantona experience.
Wags Corner.
Zinedine Zidane's Mamma Mia Mayhem.
Crash Bang Benjamin Massing.
Benjamin Massing is coming to get you.
The Watford manager Whack-A-Mole.
Marco Silva, Bish Bash Bosh. Nigel Pearson, Under the Cosh. Kike Flores, Willie Pooh in the hole. This is Watford, Whack-A-Mole.
Wayne Lineker, Wayne's World.
We've got a wonderful meeting coming up, an exciting guest. Mark, you've drilled some air holes in that testicled green room.
Reluctantly, yeah. Wayne Lineker's not happy. Well, he's suing us, but...
Okay, we've got $1 billion, so I don't care. We've got a couple of good ride ideas, but first, sadly, Ryan, you have some terrible news.
No, not sad. No, good news. Good news this week. I bet I've got us a sponsor.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's Durex.
Durex.
The sex bags.
Yeah, they want to ride that's sexy but safe. And, well, we do one of those things, don't we? So
Safety, we're very safety conscious, yeah, but I'm not sure we do sex. We do football, we don't do sex. There's no crossover between football and sex.
almost all our rides are horrendously dangerous, and they're almost all very, very, very sexy.
Name one ride we've got that's sexy.
The Wagner Tunnel of Love.
Okay, apart from that, that's functional sex.
Steve Mechanical Bull. I mean, he's naked. We've lubed
There's
him up.
nothing wrong with clinging onto a naked man with a detachable penis.
He's got a detachable penis. There's the Betrayal Monorail. There's the shagging your in-laws way to get into the park. You've managed to get some ASMR into a Newcastle carnival.
All of those are fun ideas, fun family ideas. I don't see anything sexual about any of those.
I know what you're going to say next. In Be the Ball, you can listen to Sir Geoff Hurst and his wife in the 60s making love.
That was on the list, yes.
It's educational.
All right, what's your idea? It better not be sexy.
Well, I was thinking sexy and safe. We put them together. We're covering lots of bases when people get a little bit bored, a little bit idle, and I was thinking red light district, but legal, sexy, safe, a bit like in Amsterdam. We could theme it Dutch, like total smutball.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I don't quite know how Durex itself is going to be involved. I mean, and we keep it family friendly. I mean, do we fob the kids off and tell them it's very chewy chewing gum or something? I don't know.
They're not going to eat condoms. What do you mean? They're not going to eat... You don't just give them out to people like sweets. That we have a red light district in the corner where children can't go. Children can't buy condoms, can they? You've got to be over 14.
Have you?
Couldn't we brand Wags Corner Durex? The Durex Wags Corner.
I don't know if Rosie Holt will be happy with that. I'm not sure. I think you have to come up with a new idea to be sponsored by Durex. Neither of them want to be fobbed off, onto someone's back.
Definitely.
Mate, all right, Ryan,
Yeah.
On one condition, it's just condoms. It's not lube. It's not any of the other smutty products that Durex have. I'm talking those rings. You know those rings that you put around your penis and they're vibrating?
Not ribbed. I don't even know what that is.
No ribbed. Just functional condoms, please. Ones that they give out free on the NHS.
I don't know if Durex even make these, but no bum eggs. I don't want bum eggs anywhere near this park.
Okay.
Have a think and, go away. But no, exciting investment opportunity.
Exciting, yeah.
Can't wait for that. Thank you, Ryan. Cheers.
Okay. Oh,
Thanks.
all right
Ryan.
then.
Cheers.
See ya.
Thanks.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Oh, j'aime beaucoup.
Hello, footballer.
Mark, you have a wonderful idea.
Yes, my ride idea for this week is Luis Suarez's Pacman maze. Okay? Luis Suarez has bitten other players. Not once, in fact, not even twice. He's bitten other players in full view of the cameras
Thrice.
3 times. Many would say that's 3 times too many for biting another human. So this kind of makes a fun feature out of that by putting the player, you are Luis Suarez, you're in the maze, you've got to collect mini footballs, but the players he bit, Giorgio Chiellini, Branislav Ivanovic and Otman Bakal, they are the ghosts hunting you down, like revenge styling.
Okay,
Yeah?
they're ghosts, so you killed them by biting them? What's the narrative here?
No, he didn't. I mean, that would be a career-ending controversy if he bit them to death.
Sepsis, was it?
Rabies.
Well, do they need to be dead?
Well, you've just told us they're days.
They're ghosts.
Well, they're ghosts.
Yeah.
That's different, isn't it? Is that the same as being dead? It's sort of limbo land, isn't it? Being a ghost. I mean, is that the same as the undead?
They sound more like zombies, don't they?
Yeah, I think
ghosts.
you're right. There's sort of zombies.
Is this explained in the queue?
It could be, actually, yes. That gets you, once you're in the maze, you don't want to be bogged down with narrative backstory, do you? Let's explain it to them in the queue.
What are you told in the queue, then? That Luis Suarez killed 3 people and now they're out for revenge?
I think subtler than that. I think maybe you have to read a pamphlet describing the nature of purgatory and notions of the afterlife.
That
And
is subtle.
floating as a restless spirit. If we can condense that philosophical concept into as short a pamphlet as possible, we don't want people to be, we don't want to hand them textbooks that they've got to wade through before they go in for a bit of fun.
Yeah.
But nonetheless,
you're
in
right, it is
Pacman,
important.
when they come and hunt for you, you've got to evade the ghosts. But then when you eat like a cherry or something, they turn into zombies and then you can go and eat them and kill them.
Yeah.
So you're explaining to the queue via a pamphlet that Luis Suarez has killed 3 people, but they're not dead. They're in limbo and they can be killed again. He's going to kill them again.
They're only edible some of the time, yes. They will eat you unless you're eating them.
Right.
It is... I mean, thinking about it now, all those hours I spent in the arcade in the 80s playing Pacman, I could have really done with someone explaining what the hell was going on.
Are there not 4 ghosts?
Yeah. There are 4
So who's
ghosts.
the 4th? Did he kill anyone else?
Could we get him to bite someone else?
Yeah, that would give us a 4th
Could we
ghost.
pop over to La Liga and spread some of that spreadable chorizo on people? Maybe like, what is it, sobrasada? Get a bit of that on the shoulders.
Tapenade. They go for that in Spain, don't they?
Well, who's the 4th ghost then? We're not. I mean, do we get the ghost of just a normal player like Stanley Matthews or someone?
Luis Garcia scored a ghost goal.
Perfect, and he's called Lewis. That's absolutely perfect. Yeah. So, but I think in the pamphlet you just need to make crystal clear that Luis Suarez never bit or killed Luis Garcia.
Yeah, that will be like an addendum at the back of the pamphlet.
What happens if you go off the edge of the screen because you come back the other side? We can't do that really in a real life game of Pacman.
We can't, so I'm guessing if you go charging off the edge of the maze, you're just back out in the park and you go and the game's over.
Right.
That's a bit of an anticlimax, isn't it?
Just feed someone in the other side, like 2 queues.
Double queue.
It would be great if we restricted this ride to identical twins, because then for anyone watching the game, it would look like the same player had gone out one side and come in the other side.
Is that necessary if everybody's dressed as Luis Suarez?
Or maybe everyone's wearing those T-shirts that Kenny Dalglish made everyone wear to say he wasn't racist.
I like the twin idea, though.
Okay. All right. Well, lovely. Yeah, let's vote on that. All in favour of Luis Suarez's Pacman, say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations, Mark. Mark, you've got some engagements coming.
Yes, we've been sent a song, a 2-minute song. I mean, I think he was going for a jingle and it just got out of hand. So
right.
This is 2 minutes of musical genius from someone in the Dordogne calling himself Chris Pinguin.
Chris Pinguin from the Dordogne.
Chris Penguin.
Chris Penguin from the Dordogne. The Dordogne's Chris Penguin.
Anyway, let's hear it.
Stuck in the desert with nothing to do. Come and see us, you know you want to. Rising up from out the sand. it's time to visit Footballland. Footballland, that's a mother-bipping name. Footballland puts the other pucks to shame. Footballland is a mammy-jamming name. Football is our game. We've got restaurants, bars and dodgem cars. If you're not far from Doha, come and say aloha. Ride and slide and so much more. You can even bang your sister-in-law. Performance enhancers, topless dancers, outrageous diving, drunk driving, stay up all night, have a food fight. Bad behaviour of every persuasion. Try your hand at tax evasion.
You can swing on Stiefel's pole, get shot out of Wagner's or Donald's or Joachim's love hole. Fun for all the family.
Footballland, that's a mother-bipping name. Footballland puts the other pucks to shame. Footballland is a mama-jamming name. Football is our game. 1 word, 2 words, don't give a shit. The whole day air will be a total hit. Footballland, that's a mother-bipping name. Footballland puts the other pucks to shame. Footballland is a mammy-jamming name. Football is our game.
Free parking.
What? Right.
That is something special, isn't it? I have a couple of questions. I slightly question his decision to bleep out the word but swear in safe ways elsewhere. I don't quite understand the logic of that.
Yeah.
And also free parking. We never said it's free parking.
No, we did not.
He's just lost us a lot of revenue.
Who said it was free? You can't park for free at a hospital. Why are you going to park for free at Footballland, for goodness sake?
It's the Matthew Whitworth car park as well, isn't it? I mean, he's going to be livid as well.
It is the Matt Whitworth car park. We'd have to ask him. So, yeah, no, for that reason, I'm still in, but in reluctantly.
Yeah, I'm in, but I'm fuming. So for this section of the meeting, you've got an idea, Anthony.
I have, yes. I've got an idea, and I think it's a good one. You'll remember a famous person once said, "You can't win anything with kids." That man...
Was that Gandhi?
Was Gandhi, and Alan Hansen paraphrased him.
Yeah.
Alan Hansen, of course, said that before Man United won lots of stuff. I'm not sure why he said it, but you can't win anything with kids. Man United did win with kids.
Yeah.
They had lots of children winning things throughout the 90s and the 2000s. There are many youth team tournaments that are in fact won by non-adults as well. Children or kids to you and me.
Yeah.
And Alan Hansen has forgotten that children can win things in underage groups. And that leads me to believe that Alan Hansen was either never involved in youth football, he was robbed of a childhood, or in fact he was never born a child.
There's every chance he was born fully formed.
Exactly. I'm creating Alan Hansen's Lost Childhood Youth Team Tournament. It's a huge tournament, very big tournament. I'm not sure if you remember those summer five-a-side tournaments organised by Shoot or Match Magazine.
Oh, yes.
In the summer, so the ground was very hard. You had to use part of a cricket field where the goals used to be, but they've been put away for the summer. You forget to wear any sun lotion, so your legs are peeling with sunburn afterwards. If you fall over, it really hurts. You're going to graze all sorts of knees. It's relentless. It's high intensity football because the ball bounces everywhere and your thighs get grazed. Your thighs always get grazed. Your thighs, Mark, your thighs. We need to get in about 32 teams playing every day and just have everyone watching this youth tournament and having fun watching child's football. All presided over by a giant fiberglass Alan Hansen looking down disapprovingly at children playing football.
Maybe Alan Hansen has turned away, so it's a giant Alan Hansen with his arms folded, deliberately not looking.
Yeah. Perhaps we hire these children in for a year contract.
Yeah.
So they're playing every day. It never changes. But I think there'd be a nice option for the managers to be revolving and guests get to be the managers. Someone's dad is always the manager of a youth team tournament team.
Yeah.
So get anyone whose dad is there at the park. If you're a dad and you want to manage some children playing football, you want to shout at them, you want to shout offside when it's not offside, you want to keep yelling foul throw, then this is the perfect opportunity. We want these children to be embarrassed by the shouting of the dad managers. So we need shouty dads. So if you can earmark, as soon as dads come into the park, if they're yelling at their families for no discernible reason, then, pull them to one side and say, hey, we've got the perfect experience for you. You can shout and you'll be loved for it.
I mean, I think these kind of shouty dad managers, they had massively over idealistic expectations, didn't they? They thought they were managing in the Champions League semi-final or something, where it was in fact a five-a-side kick around for the Cub Scouts.
We need a massive child, don't we? A massive child for each team.
There's always a big child.
Is that because he's in the wrong age group?
No, he's just grown too. He's grown too much. He's grown too much.
Almost adult size, even in sort of under 8s. It just pushes people over by the face.
Yeah.
Similarly, could we have a person who's clearly over the age limit, but they've doctored their birth certificate? And could they be the same size as a child? So maybe we hire small people, but they've got very wizened faces.
What about the goalkeeper? That was always a problem position at youth level.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a goalkeeper who usually plays in goal. It should be a child who is only in goal because the regular goalkeeper is actually on holiday that week.
What about the quiet dads? There's a lot of quiet dads that are always right, but sort of out of earshot, well away from the shouty dad. Usually in the car on the way home.
Yeah.
So I guess if you get some quiet dads through the turnstiles, maybe after the tournament's finished, they can drive one of the children back to a pretend house and just tell them what they should have done, but in a quiet and respectful manner. So we need, say if there's one child per team getting embarrassed, that's 32 children. Then we need 32 quiet dads to drive these ashamed children to a pretend house. So we need 32 pretend houses, 32 cars.
On the subs bench as well, there could be, I mean, the five-a-side teams I played in, they always had a player who was potentially amazing, just couldn't be bothered, just didn't like football enough. If he could be bothered, he'd be amazing, like a miniature Gascoigne, but he was more into cricket or dinosaurs or something.
Doesn't sort of play organised football, but around the garages is otherworldly.
But how do you get that across to the paying guests that just the child who's not playing is really good?
Have it on a badge?
Yeah, okay, have it on a badge. Yeah, that's fine.
There's also, at these tournaments, there's always a rumour goes round that someone on the other side, even though he's 9 years old, he's on Chelsea's book.
Yeah, and can we hire a few of the people that come through the turnstiles, we get them involved. They can be scouts, because there's always the rumour of a scout popping up.
And if we can't get proper scouts, we could get scouts to play scouts.
Yeah, so we need to get scouts who are scouting for those scouts.
If Alan Hansen was indeed never born a child and he's a sort of Benjamin Button type character, we've not seen him for a little while, and I think that might be because he's now in his childlike stage. So Alan Hansen could appear in his own Lost Childhood Youth Tournament and I think we need some kind of musical finale for that, because when he takes the field, we need to feel it.
Would he set out to prove his own theory by deliberately throwing games, though?
Oh, probably.
It doesn't detract from how special his appearance would be, but just wondering what his attitude's going to be.
It would be nice if the statue had like a redeeming moment at the end where he realises that you can win things with kids. So in the final, say the winning goal goes in, and, we've got the child Alan Hansen running around the field, but how about that we make the giant fiberglass statue of Alan Hansen who's turned away mechanical, and it turns towards the players, and he actually not only awards them the cup but also gives them just a big fiberglass hug
and a wink.
Is it possible for the giant fiberglass Alan Hansen to turn round slowly and then the 5-year-old Alan Hansen to crawl out of one of the eyes and slide down the face like he's a tear? The adult Alan Hansen is crying a little Alan Hansen, who then slides onto the pitch, wins, and then hugs his adult self. I mean, we're in the realms of beautiful poetry. It's Spielberg-esque.
Yeah, it's the the piece de resistance of him just like a face pieced.
Yeah, the face piece.
Yeah,
the piece. Yeah, a red run.
The face,
because
he
Liverpool.
is the face piece on this ride for sure.
Yeah. Okay, well that's that, and I'd like you to vote on that. So all in favour of Alan Hansen's Lost Childhood Youth Team Tournament, featuring a giant fiberglass Alan Hansen and a child Alan Hansen who floats down from the tears of the fiberglass Alan Hansen, say aye.
Aye.
I'm really pleased with that. Thank you.
Very strong.
1, 2, 3, it's the international break. Grab your passport, don't be late. Don't nobody know, I don't want to go. It's the international break. Have you got an injury I could fake? Have you? Hey, I need one please, I don't want to go.
Ryan, you're back. You're pleased. You've been looking at Durex for a long time on the internet. What have you found?
So I'm just going to start spitballing some ideas at you. This is just bear with me, because I don't want any interruptions, because this is going to be difficult.
Sure.
Rude Van Nipple Boys.
I like it.
Yeah, that's good.
No idea what it is.
Lovely. Yeah, next.
Cool. Okay. Well, I'll keep Peter Bearded Sleeves Ladies.
Yep.
Again.
So it's a bearded Peter Beardsley showing off ladies, or are the ladies bearded and Peter Beardsley's welcoming them?
Both.
A lady who looks like Peter Beardsley. That is quite something.
Okay. I'm on a roll.
Next.
Okay. Jimmy Hill's Chinball Emporium.
That's really sexy. Because chins are pretty sexy. What does he do?
I don't know. I looked on Reddit and that came up. And there's a whole chin thing and people are into chins. It doesn't seem immediately sexy.
Well, they look like bums.
Does he have a dimpled chin? Is it like a bum? Does he have a bum chin?
I think it might be a chin cleavage thing. I didn't really want to look too hard.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, it looks like a bum or boobs. If you put a little dress on his chin, it could look like cleavage, yeah.
Okay, this is shaping up to be a really quite a sexy red light district.
I've got a few more. Shall I rattle through these?
Yeah, rattle through.
Okay, David Seaman's Jizz Band.
Yeah, in.
Stephen Kuntz's Hair Emporium.
Yeah, just for when you want to get a haircut in the red light district, yeah.
Downstairs hair.
Do you remember the Belgian winger, Anil Cock?
Anil Cock.
Anil. It was Anil.
Either way. Dean Windas's machine.
What's sexy about having a windy ass?
Some people are into it.
Well, cater for them. So what do you do in Dean Windas's machine?
You go sort of indoor skydiving. It's sort of his bumhole, and you sort of leap off a platform towards the bumhole, and it's blowing you back, and you've really got to want to get in there and have a look around.
Okay.
Ralph Minge.
Right, Ralph Minge, yep.
Quim.
He played for...
He's a Portuguese goalkeeper, yeah.
Yeah.
Argelico Fox.
Yeah.
He played for Brazil. Johan de Kock. And the last one I've got is Wayne Wanklin.
Right. I mean, what do? Are they just ambassadors?
They're just there, hanging about, you know.
Giving out condoms.
They're sponsored by Durex. So Ralph Minge, Quim and Wayne Wanklin are just wandering around being sponsored by Durex.
Yeah, that.
Well, thanks, Ryan. That's perfect. You found a good way to incorporate a football red light district that's sexy but also safe.
Cool.
Well done. Great work.
I'm going to Footballland, to Footballland, to Footballland. I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
It's not built yet.
Anthony, I'm really excited. For this meeting, we have special guest Tom Deacon. Tom Deacon is a British comedian, a radio DJ and a television presenter. He's hosted the Sunday night slot on BBC Radio 1, and since 2012 he's featured on the YouTube channel Copper90, where he travels around Europe to watch and support multiple football games. The name he is given for this is the Eurofan. In real life, he's a devoted Southampton fan. Hello, Tom.
Gentlemen, hello.
Hello, Tom. Welcome along.
I appreciate those credentials from Mark. They were very apt of maybe, almost 10 years ago. So, very enjoyable.
So let's get the legals out of the way and then we'll hear your idea. You, Tom Deacon, are willing to give over your ride idea to Anthony and Mark and Ryan and everyone at Footballland for perpetuity, and to prove that this is happening for real, you are swearing on a copy of Shoot magazine from the year 2000, just to prove that it's in front of you. Who is on the front cover, please?
It's Matthew Le Tissier.
Person who was seen on the cover of Shoot magazine was
Matthew Le Tissier.
Let's hear your ride idea.
Yep.
Okay, gentlemen, I've been to a fair few theme parks, a few rides, and I've always felt when I've got off that ride that I've been hit emotionally. The adrenaline's still running, but I want to create a ride or an attraction where people are left with a lingering anxiety for a lot longer, and that is the England National Horror House. And what that is essentially the classic ghost train idea, but in a house where people go through the journey of the England football team and all of the many disappointments, and they're left with a feeling of shame, resentment, anger. So it's really for the adrenaline junkie.
That is a wonderful idea. So you said horror house, but you said train as well. Just to picture it, is it a big house with a train in?
Yes, it's got that, and there's also a slide at the end. You work your way through the house, and when you get to the top, at the back area, there's a kind of balcony with a slide, which slides you down into a kind of container of Gaza's tears. But don't worry if you're thinking, with health and safety, we give them an England poncho at the beginning of the ride, as it were, through the house. And that is England on the front. So you really feel the shame and disappointment, even if you're not an England fan.
I was just trying to think about the moments of shame that we could really bring into this house. Mark, you've got a couple of shameful moments that you remember from being an England fan.
I wonder if it's within living memory or whether you want to go right back to like the first shameful episode, to my mind, is losing to the USA team in the 1950 World Cup, where we didn't get out of the group stage. Do you want to go that far back, or is it more recent? Because frankly, if this is a horror house for the England national team, it may have to be a massive house, because there's a lot of disappointment and shame that we could wallow in. How comprehensive do you see this being?
I think we take it back to 1950. I want moments of real kind of the best scary rides you go on are the ones where you're not expecting it. So I want these people, first of all, to put on their England poncho and get that sort of excitement. Cool, it's the Three Lions. This is exciting. What a great day out. I've been on some of the other amazing rides at this theme park in Footballland. So now let's go on this journey. And I want that element of surprise. So I want to see the manager, Walter Winterbottom, and think, oh, he's got us to several World Cups as the England manager. You know, that's the home of football. What? They lost to the USA. And then the shame comes on board. They lost to people who were postmen, funeral directors. So there's a real sense of that. It was a big shock, and I want it to hit them. And you feel this is a ride / walk through horror house where you really feel. So we have to go way back there. Then there's a little bit of optimism in the 1966 World Cup, but then there's an element of like, well, that goal was. It didn't even cross the line, Jeff. Do you know what I mean? So then there's moments of like, actually, it's okay to be an England fan. And then, bam, you get West Germany knocked out on penalties. That would have been our first final since 1966. Then the Gaza tears. It's all in that journey. It's like up and down emotions all over the shop.
What I like about starting in the 1950s as well, the first thing they get confronted by is a room full of American mailmen laughing at them. If that's the first thing, then they're going to want to leave. What if we put a revolving door that is part of the horror, in that they just can't leave? They either keep going round and round, or they regretfully embark upon other rooms in the house, because once you're in, you can't bail out.
I like that as an idea. And hey, I've come with this idea. I feel passionately about it. I'm open to these extra suggestions, which I know you gentlemen appreciate. And I like the idea that those American postmen are sort of saying, you didn't deliver. There's little real, you know what I mean? Little things that hurt.
Yeah. And also, don't forget that some of these rooms can be completely empty, like failing to qualify for the World Cup in 74, 78, 1994. The Euros, of course, in 2008. It's just an empty room, but an oppressive empty room. But each wall can have a sound bar on it where you're hearing from elsewhere people are having a good time.
Yeah, that compounds the misery more. And like you say, that 2008 period with Steve McLaren, the Wally with a brolly, that moment, I kind of envisage it just starts raining within that room on top of them. So you're compounded by the real misery there. And that Croatia, the bobble, moments like that with Paul Robinson, and you see that, you get flashes, images on the wall of those moments, of the goals that got let in that shouldn't have. How did that go in? So I want them to feel angry at points in this travel round the experience.
San Marino, of course, they scored that early goal against us in 1994. Their bus driver, no, it was the goalkeeper was the bus driver. Some randomer, or was it an own goal? But anyway, we conceded early against San Marino when we needed to absolutely thump them.
I think it's still the fastest ever international goal, isn't it, in football history?
Something like that. But I'd like to have a room where you're only in there for the amount of time that goal took to be scored. You can't stay in there any longer. It's impossible to stay in there longer. Maybe it's like electromagnetic sort of forces pushing you back, but you have to stay in there for the exact time it took to score that goal.
It's coming home. It's coming home. And it's going to eat you.
Why don't we just have a soundscape of the England brass band playing constantly, constant parping from the England brass band, who were at one point sponsored by Pucker Pies, then playing The Great Escape, Dam Busters, the national anthem, and then Come On England, which is just a trumpeter going, come on England, for the whole time you're in there, until the noise is just, it's in your soul.
Yeah, and can it possibly be an octave, the wrong notes, the hitting bum notes every now and again. So you almost, again, it just reinforces that you want England to do well, you want them to win, and at the same time you're willing on the brass band to play the right notes, and it just doesn't happen.
Yeah. I'd like to go into one room and just have a load of hooligans throwing plastic furniture at me. Can we have that, Tom?
Oh, I'd love that, because if you've ever experienced being an England fan abroad, I went to Brazil and I watched, England had already been eliminated out of the competition. They were playing Costa Rica and it finished 0-0. And there at the Atlético Mineiro ground, you had all these England fans throwing their drinks at the Brazilian fans, and then a whole stadium screaming, eliminado, you're eliminated, and the embarrassment of England fans still thinking they're the bee's knees, and that would be a great idea, actually. I like that a lot. It just the rowdiness of England fans singing terrible songs which we've held on for years, and we've got nothing to back that up with. I think because that's going to not only be intimidating, a little bit scary, a little bit on the edge. It's going to bring it home that much more. And
also, let's not forget a soundtrack as well from that Norwegian commentator who said, your boys took one hell of a beating. Him. We could get him. I'm sure we could get him. He may be dead. But, if he's dead, then for goodness sake, let's get his son. Get his son or his daughter.
But if he's dead, he's on message because it's a haunted house. He's supposed to be dead.
Oh, yeah, good point.
I mean, fear of clowns is a very real thing. Maybe we could get the 1974 Polish goalkeeper. Brian Clough famously described him as a clown with gloves, which was enough to goad him into the most amazing goalkeeping performance, held us to a 0-0 draw, and we didn't go to the World Cup.
Well, yeah, I'm excited by Polish clowns, yeah.
Polish clowns are probably the best. If we can get that would be brilliant. Graham Taylor, do I not like that? That could be just repeated. Do I not like that? And I like the Norwegian commentator shouting out, Lord Nelson, Sir Winston Churchill, Clement Attlee, Henry Cooper, Lady Diana, Maggie Thatcher, can you hear me? Your boys took a beating. And that can actually be, if there's some way that could be stamped on everybody on their hand in a kind of light ink that won't come off for at least a couple of days, that would be quite nice as well as a personal touch.
Sam Allardyce's pint of wine deserves a part of it. Can it come through the sprinkler system? This cheap South African white wine just pouring through the sprinklers after a fire somewhere. A boring fire, though, because that game he managed was very boring.
I like it. I like it a lot because actually if Sam Allardyce is that one England manager that's got a 100% record, I don't think any other manager has that. So that even more, does that compound a feeling of remorse, and the wine that's not even going to soak up the shame, is it?
No.
You know, traveling around this haunted house and the shame of being an England Three Lions fan. It's just captivated by Harry Kane, maybe in one room going up to take a corner when he's one of our biggest players against Roy Hodgson, Euro 16, just going up and if you do not respond with a shouting of no, why, you can't move on into the next room.
Well, as you were saying that, I was thinking about the overall design of the house and, you know, going down generic, cliched routes of, is it a prison? Is it an asylum? Is it a haunted stadium? But actually, when you were talking about the Roy Hodgson years, I just thought, no, we build this as a brick-by-brick replica of Roy Hodgson's house.
Yeah.
That is horrific enough.
Yeah.
I can't think of a more haunting place to wander around as an England fan.
But also, a house is where you watch most of your games, unless you're in the pub. I've never actually enjoyed watching any game down the pub because you kind of forget the game straight after you've watched it. But when you're in your own home, when you're in your own home watching, it kind of makes it even worse because you're just struck by the fact that after this game finishes and we get knocked out on penalties, you've got to go and load the dishwasher. And you just think, God, bloody hell, that's even worse, isn't it? When we lost to Croatia in the semi-final, I had to go and do a litter tray of a cat. The cat had been sick and it had diarrhea in the litter tray. And not only had we just been knocked out in a depressing, one-sided game, really, which happened to go to extra time. I've no idea how it even went to extra time. I then had to perform the most menial task in existence, and that's part of the horror too, I think, as a fan.
In a way, all England fans had to go and deal with cat sick after that game.
That's right. I'm so impressed by how much thought you've put into each room. I was wondering if you could have a bedroom of sex scandals.
No.
Okay.
When it becomes sexualized, there's more shame. We'd have to start talking about Sven-Göran Eriksson, and I don't feel comfortable with that.
For sure, but, you know, he bounced around on some lovely humans.
If you're going to keep with the bedroom theme, a great story is of Kieran Dyer playing international football and just throwing his shoes at the wall. And that could be, just summarises England fans, the players, what a purgatory is like. You're just throwing your shoe against the wall and it doesn't even bounce back, and then you have to go and pick it up and then throw it again. And maybe an actor could be in that room and people don't know quite how to respond when they go in. You know, that if you want to think bedroom stuff.
What if the conceit is when Wayne Rooney was banging grannies, one of the grannies got pregnant, so there is a tiny Wayne Rooney granny, like something out of the Chucky movies.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be enough to give anyone nightmares. A tiny baby Rooney granny.
Well, that is
horrific.
That is horrific. And Wayne Rooney famously said it's nice to hear your own fans booing you. And that could be the tagline for that moment when maybe the old granny turns around and then she says, it's nice to hear your own fans booing you.
Yeah,
that's
as the head rotates 360 degrees.
Okay. Well, Mark, let's go to a vote. All in favour of Tom Deacon's England House of Horror, say aye. 3, 2, 1, aye.
Aye.
Congratulations, Tom.
Well
you
done.
must be over the moon.
This is brilliant. Thank you. I won't let you down. I want to work on it a bit more and get you the blueprints for it.
Sure. Thank you so much. And that will be doing Mark's job for him, so he'll be happy too.
Yeah, even better. Great. Thank you so much.
Okay. I could set up a Google document if you want, Mark, and then we can back and forth. You can use red and I'll use black, and then we just add in if you want.
Not very good with technology. If you could just write to me and I'll write back. Is that all right?
Sure, definitely.
I'm a little wizened up old granny who looks like Rooney. I'm 2 years old. I don't think it's very nice when you boo your own team. I don't think it's very nice at all. Eliminado.
Well, that was a lovely meeting. I can't help but think we need to get cracking on that Alan Hansen's Lost Childhood Youth Tournament. We need to find the scouts first and foremost. And also, Ryan, can you get on with the pamphlet explaining purgatory to the waiting guests for the Luis Suarez Pacman?
Right.
pamphlet.
And you need to find 32 men who are good at football, who are the size of a child, okay?
Right.
And an advert for identical twins for the Pacman wraparound maze.
In video or in paper?
Let's do audio.
Oh.
Twins like listening to music.
Pamphlet, video, audio, paper. Okay.
Great. Thank you. All right.
All right.
Meeting adjourned. Cheers.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.